What's going on? It's your boy Sermon at Sermon's Domain on Twitter. Freddie Gibbs is back with his latest album, Shadow of a Doubt. And Freddie Gibbs is one of the best artists that produces like the drug raps. Not produces in like, beats, but as in creation. And like when I was thinking about it, the only person I know that actually rivals Freddie Gibbs, and maybe I'm not thinking of everybody here, so excuse me if I forget somebody, but the only other person that comes to mind in 2015 is Pusha T. Um, like those two are neck and neck. I would give Freddie the edge just because he's put out more music this year, but Pusha T, like his Untouchable single, is crazy. Um, this album is excellent. There's no other way to put it. I really got into this album. I love a record like "Fucking Up the Count." I love how he flipped OJ to Juice Man's quarter brick, half a brick, whole brick, A. And not only just like he flipped it, but it made it set up the tone for the song's subject matter, like, the whole storytelling and all that. Another record I liked a lot was Careless, and I'm going to group Careless with Basketball Wives because those two records to me are similar because Gibbs does like his little singy songy type of thing, like Wiz Khalifa will do from time to time. Where Freddie Gibbs is not a singer by any means, but he can croon. He can get out these hooks that sound great. And those two records in particular on the album, I know there's more, but those two in particular were, my favorites just because of like the infectious hook and then like the subject matter. He really knows how to put together a record for his lane too. It's very surprising to me that he's not further along in his career. And I was actually writing about this for DJ Booth where I work at, and one of the things I was talking about was how like so many people were sleeping on Freddie Gibbs, not like fan wise, but Interscope Records. He was signed there and didn't do anything. And I was reading another article where Eminem passed on working with him, like. And this was probably 2009, 2010 is probably when Eminem passed on working with him. And I guess I understand it. Freddie Gibbs wasn't really that big a name, but if you're going by skill, I definitely think Eminem shouldn't have passed. And then, the last person, Jeezy. Jeezy didn't really do much with Freddie Gibbs. And it's unfortunate that they had that falling out and stuff because they really seem like they could be like a really good combination together. Another record that stood out to me was Extradite, and that's a collaboration with Black Thought. I remember looking on Twitter one day and seeing, Gibbs and Black Thought kind of go back and forth on Twitter about, collaborating. And we finally got, the finished product, and it sounds great. The beat is like a straight up 90s New York type of thing. Like when I was thinking about it, I was like, man, Joey Badass would kill this too. But without including him, Gibbs and Black Dot really went in. I was surprised to get two verses out of them. Normally you get one verse out of your guest feature and that's it. But there's two verses each from them. But overall, I feel like Shadow of a Doubt is another chapter in Freddie Gibbs' career that is magnificent. It's amazing. And one of the other things that I cited in my review, which I'll link in the descriptions below, is that somebody from HBO or Showtime or Stars needs to hit up Freddie Gibbs because we need him to develop some kind of a TV series. When I was talking to one of my coworkers, Lucas, he was saying it would be something like The Wire meets Sex in the City. And I was like, yo, that is dead on. I feel like the way Gibbs articulates his stories and his raps could be translated onto, the silver screen TV series and stuff like that. So I would love to see that. Maybe that's an idea. Maybe somebody will see this at HBO and say, hey, that's a really good idea. I don't know. Hopefully, or you can send this video into HBO and let them know. So yeah, you should buy this album. It's really good, and you can get it on iTunes, or you can go to like Best Buy, FYE. They have physical copies there. 3 questions. Is there anybody more technical with the drug raps than Gibbs in 2015? I know I kind of posed that at the beginning and threw in Pusha T's name, but was there anybody that I forgot? Let me know in the comment section who had the best guest feature. You know, there's several guest features on here. And one I didn't even talk about, Gucci and E40 on 10 times. Gucci's verse on 10 times is probably the best verse that I've heard from him since he got locked up. Some collaborations that he's done on his mixtapes have sound forced, but here he just kind of really fits in naturally, and that's weird, you know, considering that you know that like these two weren't in the studio together. So that was one of my standout guest features. I like Tory Lanez, even though his hook sounded like something similar from another record I'm drawing a blank on. Man Savage was on Packages and he really showed out. Obviously Black Thought, but who had the best guest feature in your eyes? And last question, is this Freddie Gibbs' best album? And I'm counting like retail projects. So, you know, he doesn't have a whole lot of them. You know, like I was thinking about Cold Day in Hell, but then I was like, that's a mixtape, so it doesn't really count. Or we can broaden it up. Is this Freddie Gibbs' best project ever? I think it's a definite contender up there with Cold Day in Hell. I think it definitely surpasses Pinata with Madlib. That's just my opinion. So Freddie Gibbs is always going to deliver some kind of quality body of work. He can continue making the type of songs that he does for years because he's able to portray it in a technical sense that a lot of people can't do. Shadow of a Doubt will please new and old listeners, you know, and it stands out as one of the year's best albums so far. So let me know your thoughts on the album in the comment section below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, share the video, follow me on Twitter at Sermons Domain, and as always, thank you for your time. I appreciate you for watching, and until next time, peace.